sure it's on here. Okay, got that here. Okay. Good morning for August 11th. Here we are for Canadian Mortgage Weekly. Well, we are here with Sam Thompson and myself, Joe Bladek, and we're really excited to be here today because we got an awesome episode planned for you guys, don't we, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. Episode 92 is here. We're poolside for today's episode, eh, Joe?
We certainly are, yeah. And we're going to try to get the pool in the shot here. It's always good to have some interesting backdrops here for us today. Let me just adjust our screen a little bit here. All right. So if any of you have any questions for us today, just let us know in the chat. We'll be able to respond to them as best we can here on our live video. But episode 92.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking today about the top 3 home renovations that people refinance for. We get a lot of refinances for home renovations, don't we, Sam?
Yeah, it's probably one of the most common, uses that we see clients, looking for a refinance is either debt consolidation, but majority of them, want to use that. And we chatted last week about the different ways to fund your, renovations. And we did look that, refinancing was probably the cheapest or easiest option if you don't already have the savings.
That's right. Good point about that. If you don't have savings, refinance is a very cost-effective way to do it. Way better than putting it on a credit card or a store credit card. Even worse. That's even worse. But some people do that. But if you have started your home renovation and have started to do that, maybe a refinance might be in the cards for you shortly. But yeah, let's talk about the top 3 things. Start with number 1. And number 1, if you guys can guess it, it's kitchen renovations. We see a lot of kitchen renovations.
Yeah, we do. It's definitely one of those things where, clients want to keep that room upkeep, and, in the most modern space. I know that a lot of people, myself growing up and even in our house now, everyone seems to kind of congregate in the kitchen most frequently than any other room in the house.
Oh, yeah. It's always a great meeting spot, and it keeps everyone social, and, everyone loves to eat. So having a good kitchen, a nice bright kitchen, a nice new kitchen, it's always great to have. So that's something that we do see. One of the most popular one of the most popular renovations for refinancing. And another tip, just before you start tearing out your old kitchen, make sure you start your refinance and complete it actually before you do the kitchen renovation, because the bank's going to want to see that old kitchen before they front the money for the new kitchen.
Absolutely, and that is a good point. Even looking at the appraisal side, when the lender wants an evaluation and you get an appraisal, if the house is half torn apart, it might hurt that appraisal and could cause some issues.
You bet, yeah. So let's talk about number 2, the second most popular renovation that everyone takes their home refinance for, or most people do, and that is bathrooms. We do see a lot of dated bathrooms when we're doing a refinance.
Yeah.
So it's always good to see folks do that bathroom renovation. We've seen some awesome bathrooms come through our office. And bathrooms are another popular renovation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's very common that you see, lots of outdated vanities maybe, or old school shower setups. So it is another one of those things that, a lot of people, want to invest that time and money in just to make sure that it's kept up well and, it's as modern as possible.
You bet, Sam. So let's take a look now at renovation number 3. And, it's been almost a tie, but during COVID, things had changed a lot. We did usually see finished basements come out at number 3. But as you see behind us, pools have taken over.
That's right, definitely. I think we've seen, quite a surge, since COVID started, and since many people were working from home, they started looking a little bit more about, what their backyard space, what it looked like, and really put in some work and some financing to get some of these pools on the way.
Oh yeah, as you can see, there's a really nice pool behind us here with a nice water fountain going. You can kind of hear it in the background. But main thing you want to do is not start digging in your backyard until that refinance is completed.
Yeah.
The bank will want to see the lawn in proper shape before you actually start digging everything up and then asking the bank for some money.
Absolutely. Very good point.
Yeah, but those are the top 3 home renovations we see folks refinance their mortgage for. If you have a home renovation that is coming up and really don't want to put it on credit cards or a line of credit or, an other method like borrowing from family, because that can get sticky sometimes
It's
too.
true.
Contact Sam, myself, or Terry Lynn at the office to get started on your renovation mortgage today. We can get you refinanced. Fixed rates have been coming down,
Yeah.
which is great news, especially in this market. So get started. And with that, let's get into that rate news that we talk about here, Sam. I know we have a lot to talk about. So shall we bring up the presentation?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good.
Okay, so let's bring that up here. We'll just take a look here at what we have going on with our presentation here today. So I'll just bring that up. And with that, episode 92, that's just another reminder of how many episodes we've done. We've been a little bit everywhere with covering a lot of different topics over the last 2 years. But let's take a look at what we have with the bond yield.
Yeah, absolutely. So the bond yield is continuing its downward trend. I mean, you can see on the graph there is, a few peaks and valleys, but I believe that the bond yield is currently sitting at about 2.76. So it is down, and we have seen this, reflected in the fixed mortgage rate, over the last month even. We've seen in the last weeks that, some of our lenders have been dropping their 5-year fixed rate.
We really have, actually, and that's great news for a lot of home buyers right now. We're getting a lot of messages from clients that just don't believe us. They don't believe that rates have been coming down. And really, call your bank. They probably have not gone down at your bank, but they have gone down through mortgage brokers. So we've seen a lot of our lenders that are mortgage-only lenders that don't have branches lower their fixed rates quite considerably over the last 2 weeks to 2.5 weeks since this bond yield has been falling. And I'm not sure if this trend will continue, but if it does continue, Sam, do you think we should expect the 5-year fix to continue falling?
Yeah, I think we've already seen, the response from the 5-year fixed based on what the bond yield has been up to. So as it's been, continuing its downtrend, I think if it continues to, maintain its pace of decreasing, we can definitely see 5-year fixed rates dropping as well. And I think it's also a call for, any people looking to get into the market. Maybe you've seen that some house prices have started to soften. So if you're looking at getting pre-approved, now that we're seeing these rates come down, it's a good time to get that pre-approval rate, because if the rates do continue to go down, we can get you the lowest rate on the day of purchase.
Yeah, that's a good point. So let's take a look at that when you give us a call to get your fixed rates started. Variable rates, though, you probably have noticed they've been going up, and we'll talk about that next here. Variable rates, CDOR rates. Now, this is a metric that we use on Canadian Mortgage Weekly to chat about variable rates to see if they are actually a good deal comparatively to the fixed. Now, Sam, we have seen the fixed rates drop. Variable has still been increasing on the variable side. But where do we sit out with this today? Do you think variable is a good deal still?
Absolutely. I think when you look at the CDOR rate, so we use, again, the variance between what the prime rate is and what the CDOR rate is. So currently the CDOR rate is sitting, as you can see on the screen there, as 2.96%. So given the variance from, the prime rate at 4.7, it is still looking like a good and competitive option. And again, we like to use this metric and statistic because if you're looking face value at what the Bank of Canada has been doing, you've maybe been seeing a few rate increases, it can kind of spook you or make you a little bit hesitant about the variable rate. But using this variance and this metric, it does indicate that the variable rate is still a really competitive option.
Great stuff. And I know myself personally, I'm taking a variable rate on my mortgages, so that's good to hear. And with that, if you're interested in a variable rate or a fixed rate, or want to talk about what's right for you, because a lot of the time still fixed might be the best way for you to go. Give us a call. We can chat that out as well. So next we have the Bank of Canada rate announcement. Where are we sitting at with that, Sam?
Yeah, so currently the overnight rate's 2.5%. We had seen, quite a substantial rate hike at the last announcement where the Bank of Canada dropped 100 basis point increase for
Yeah,
us.
they really did. Yeah, the 100 basis point increase really took a lot of clients by surprise. Took us by surprise. I think we were expecting a 50 to 75 basis point increase with another increase in September. But maybe what the Bank of Canada had done is raised the rate in the summer so they don't have to raise it in September, or maybe they still raise it in September. We really don't know. But the sentiment is it's all about inflation these days, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, that's right. I know that in the monetary policy, the Bank of Canada has noted that their number one target is to tackle inflation. And wanting to see that number, I believe in their quote, they had said they wanted to see it at around 2%. And I think the last metric or the last data that we had seen on it, it was closer to the 4% range. So we do have a ways to go, but it does look like that's what the Bank of Canada is trying to achieve.
Okay, well, join Canadian Mortgage Weekly on September the 7th for a special episode where we will have our pre-rate show as well as interest rate announcement. We're looking forward to that. So join us then for some updates on that, which will affect variable rates. Fixed rates, though, are dropping right now, so it's a really confusing time. So call us if you're confused about this just as much as we are.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, we have the national home price average, the average national home price average. A lot of real estate agents have been coming and telling us that, prices have been dropping quite considerably. There are markets and pockets in around Simcoe County in Ontario that are much lower than they were in February, which a lot of investors are looking at as good deals. But a lot of clients, they seem to be staying on the sidelines, waiting for it to drop further. We really don't know how further it's going to go. But Sam, where are we sitting at with this?
Yeah, so currently we're still looking at June's national house price average until we get that data out from the CREA. But June fell at about $665,000 as the average national house price. So again, looking at it comparatively to where we were in February at $816,000, the market's taken, quite a turn. And I know last week we had some insights from Tim Cap with some July statistics, and it looked like from his data, it was still, slightly on the decline from even where June was. But it's definitely something to, take into consideration.
It really is, Sam. And with that, we've been talking with other real estate agents in this market as soon as this week even. I'm noticing that what they're saying is that showings have been picking up. We're seeing offers with offer dates in them again. And some markets are even having competitive offers come back. Not all markets, but some markets. So give us a call. We can help you find a real estate agent if you don't already have one. Hook you up one in your local market that can help you with your local data to help you find a home in your area. All right, so continuing on from that, we are done our presentation. So let's get back to our presentation here. Now, Sam, with all this, it's great to have you on the show on Canadian Mortgage Weekly now for about just over 2 years, almost 2.5 years. Been with Mega Mortgage. Thanks for being on the show today. And it's always good to have you on our show. Living in Barrie with your wife, Grace, and your puppy. You originally moved here from Ottawa, so great to have you and your expertise on our show today.
Thanks so much, Joe. And for anybody who doesn't know Joe, you've been in the industry for, man, we're getting really close to the 12-year mark. I think it's 12 years this September. So, when we talk about a lot of these changes in the mortgage process, I feel like it takes a lot to shock Joe when we're looking at, different rates, where the market's headed. So thanks for sharing your expertise and hosting today's episode.
Oh, my pleasure, Sam. And thanks to Terry Lynn for providing her pool today.
That's right.
It's a fantastic pool. It looks great. I kind of want to jump into my suit today, but I'll probably pass on that because I got other things to do. And I don't want to show up wet. So in the meantime, I'll introduce our next week's episode. So next week we have episode 93. And Sam, we're going to be talking about the top 5 paybacks on a renovation.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to look at those top 5 things that pay back that renovation. So we chatted today again about the top 3 things that people renovate when they do a refinance. But we'll look at the later side when those those renovations actually end up paying you back.
That's right. There's a lot of renovations out there that don't pay back at all, and there are a lot of them that do. So when you're doing home renovations and you're trying to be as savvy as possible with your finances, it's always good to see what will give you the best bang for the buck. So join us then. And if you have any questions, reach out to us either privately or give us a call, schedule an appointment, and don't forget to follow, like, comment, and share on this video to help us get out there and reach more people with this awesome data. So thanks for joining us and have a great day.